Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sustainable Living with Shilpa Reddy, powered by Planet Green's Farm Natura, a new beginning to your life. On this episode of Planet Green's Sustainable Star, I have with me a dear friend who is brave, adventurous, compassionate, and a very talented film personality. Let's welcome Regina Cassandra on my show. Hi, Regina. Welcome to my show. I've been tailing you from last year. You kept your promise, and thank you for being here today.
Firstly, thank you so much. I have a lot of things to thank you for, but thank you for having me here today. I'm so glad we finally made it. I
Yes.
know we've been talking about this for the longest time, been for at least for a year now.
Yes.
But yes.
So, you're one of the very few people I know, and even among actors, who love adventure sports and outdoor activities. So, tell me, what does outdoor activities do to you as a person? And what inspires you to be gentler and more concerned about the ecosystem when you're out there?
Firstly, growing up itself, there was a lot of all of these things instilled in me by my mother. She was a very
Okay.
active person, and I'm very grateful for that because it's so important that these things are instilled in kids in their formative years itself.
Correct.
And be it whatever, whether it's a sport or a language, anything, because kids tend to pick things up in those first 5 years of their lives. It's very easy to teach them anything, right?
Right.
So that was how it started, and hence it became a lifestyle. It was just a part of growing up, and
Okay.
you understand the benefits later on in life, and I think that's the beautiful bit. So it means a lot to me to be active, but I also now grow after having grown up. I believe a good work ethic is supported by a good rest ethic. I read that somewhere recently, and I totally agree with it. So now it's become more about balancing the adventure and the rest and making time for everything just to stay physically and mentally healthy. So I think it's important for everyone to have a bit of that adventure or bit of that spirit to want to try new things. I think curiosity, they say curiosity pricks the cat, but I don't think it happens all the time. I think it's important to be curious about life.
Right. What does outdoors do to you? Like,
Oh,
what is the
rejuvenate. That's the first word that I can think of.
uh,
Um, it's so important to have right from your physical and mental, like I said, physical and mental health, like your vitamin D. You can't get it being indoors and eating the right kind of food. You also need sunlight. You need the right amounts of light. We are like plants and any other
right,
animal
solar
at the
powered?
end. Yes, right. At the end of the day, the food we eat is also generated because of the sun, from the outside. So it's
And
important.
assimilated also because of the sun.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all that we actually are. If you technically break it down, we're eating the sun's energy at the end of the day,
Right.
right? So all of these things are important, and I feel like people don't give it that much importance, saying that yeah, it's okay. I'll take supplements,
Oh,
your
there's a
vitamin
new norm.
supplements, but it's not gonna make up for it. So yes, rejuvenation is one thing that I would say,
Right.
an active outdoor
Outdoor.
life will add. Yeah.
And how have you seen the environment change? And when you're close to nature, does it make you want to protect it and be mindful about how gentle you are with it?
Again, I will say yes, for sure. And this is not something that I have suddenly vicariously learned over the years. It was again instilled in me. Right from when I was young, we being my mother and I, have rescued kittens, puppies, squirrels,
How sweet.
crows,
Really?
cows, everything, sparrows. You're like, you name it, if something is in danger, we're there to like.
How wonderful.
Yeah, so it was always like that. And it was not, oh, because you can do it, you should do it or something. It was just like, oh,
It
if
was a
I.
natural
Yeah, it was a very
instinct.
natural, you don't even think about it. And that was something I grew up with, and I feel, and I always felt protective about the environment. And in general, I'm a person who feels very protective about anything, whether be it person or animal, or my work, or if
Okay.
anyone is my person, if anyone is a part of my life,
Right.
then I immediately have this protective nature towards them.
Wow.
And that has come from the upbringing, you know.
So, yeah, so you answered my question. I wanted to ask you, how was your childhood? Did it impact you in any way? But you can
But that's
answer
exactly
it.
how it is. I mean, I feel like one's childhood is so important because that is what nurtures the person to grow,
Absolutely.
right?
So, Regina, when you're out in the open, it is so unpredictable. You know, you can face any challenge that you might have not anticipated. So, how do you connect physical fitness and mental fitness in such situations?
I think it's very important. So it's the three basics of life, I guess.
Okay.
Good food, sleep, and exercise. Like, I mean, it's preached everywhere, maybe overly preached, maybe overly used by a lot of people, like especially in the day and age of consumerism that we are in. But it's so important to have the right amounts of everything,
Yeah, mental and physical.
mental, because it helps, right? The right amount of food, the right amount of sleep, the right amount of like exercise
Right.
for the body, as in I think it's the three basic things. But being in this field that I'm in, and most of us today, um, there'll be one or two things out of it that we don't pay attention to. For me, it's sleep.
Okay.
I have such erratic sleep patterns because of the shoot hours
Schedules.
and the schedules. So I try not to beat myself up about it. So I try to then balance it
Balance it
out
out.
and figure what I could do. It's the only way that I can go forward. So it is important for your mental health and your peace. But I also think that if you can't do something, please don't beat yourself up about it.
Right.
Please, like, work it out in a calm, peaceful this thing. You can always get help. There are so many people you could talk to or figure it out. So
Right.
yeah.
You are a foodie, and I kind of know that you have an emotional connect with food. But being in the industry that you're in, how do you sustain health? And what are the kind of mindful choices that you make when it comes to your food?
Firstly, I'm so glad I'm in this day and age where body shaming is now a thing and you can't do it. So you can't be like, oh, she's fat and get away with it. I mean, like, no one is going to let you go. No, but having said that, when I was younger, I used to be an emotional eater.
Oh, okay.
And somewhere around 21, 22, I realized that it was becoming a lot. Like, I was now aware of the fact that I was an emotional eater.
Okay.
And I didn't know when I probably slipped into it. And I just caught myself in it, understanding that this is probably what I was doing. And when I realized that I was doing it, it took me a while to turn it around.
Oh,
Like, it
you
took me a
became
while.
conscious about it.
Yeah, and that's the beginning of,
That's
like,
the
a
beauty of
change,
it.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I realized it, first I was like, I don't want to stop. It's okay. I don't get emotional that often and all. When I get emotional, it's let me eat whatever.
Uh,
But since I started becoming aware of it, I slowly grew out of it,
okay.
one by one, slowly, slowly, slowly. And now it's not that I don't eat all that, like I whatever I want to eat, or maybe when I'm PMSing, then I just let myself have that one craving, because I know it's more of a body
Yeah, asking
craving,
for it. Huh?
yeah, than anything else. And again, don't beat yourself up about anything. It's not worth it. But food has been a very important part of my life. I like feeding people.
Okay.
I love the fact that food brings people together.
Right.
And I think a healthy a healthy diet is very important. I have tried to understand my body, and I think food is all about understanding what you can put into your body and what you can't.
Yeah, every body reacts differently to every
Yes.
kind of food. So being aware
Yes.
of the body and making choices that are healthy.
Yes, which is so important.
Absolutely.
Like now, for instance, if I want to do an intermittent fasting, is it okay for my body to do it or not? And I have a heaty body, which is, now if I'm doing intermittent fasting, then I need to know what foods I should eat the moment I break my fast.
Right.
I can't just randomly eat something that is going to cause an issue to my body. Like, I can't have anything citric. I have a kapha body, Vata Pitta Kapha.
Kapha.
So I have a heaty body, and I know that eating papaya and pineapples is just not going to work.
Right.
It's not going to help me at all.
So understanding your body is very
Yes.
important.
Yeah, knowing that I can't have dairy anymore, which randomly suddenly started happening. You know, so all of these things, I think it's so important to listen to your body.
Yes.
I think then you can eat whatever you want to eat, I guess.
You can't say whatever you
As in, you know what I mean. No, but that's again. No, you
Huh.
listen to your body, and if you want to deal with the fact that, okay, now say for instance, oh my god, that paneer looks so good. I want to have some paneer. Okay, fine, I'll have it. But I know I'm gonna like have issues
because
after
it's
eating
dairy,
it.
huh?
Then, if I'm okay with having those issues, maybe have like a
Probiotic later.
a probiotic or whatever it is to calm it down or
Okay.
anything. So
Okay.
yeah,
Super. So I have known you from,
around 10.
yeah, and you're one of those people who would jump to lend your voice or support of any kind to, welfare organizations for a social cause. And recently, I'm proud to say, I mean, to all the viewers, that you won Wild Warrior
Warrior.
Himalayan race.
Adventure challenge, yes.
Yeah, and that too, again, to address a cause for people who are affected with cancer. And you rode hundreds of kilometers from Bangalore to Hyderabad for para athletes for our very own AMF Foundation. So, how did you nurture empathy? How did you nurture compassion?
Everything else, I think it starts from a very young age.
Young age.
And it's instilled by either your parents or your, mentors or whoever it is around you that you look up to. Um, and I think it's not like, I mean, empathy is something that you need to understand first.
To feel for another person
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah. And that's how
We got connected.
got closer with
Yeah.
then it was interesting. And I feel like the place that I am in today, whatever it is that I have made for myself, I feel like there's a responsibility that I also have to not to say the right thing or do the right thing or whatever, but if I feel like I can add something of some value that is going to nurture and make something else grow, I would love to do it.
Does it do something to you on a personal level?
Um, I believe in altruism, but I also don't believe that altruism is done only to make you feel better. I think it's a byproduct. It will
That's right.
happen
That's right.
irrespective, but that's not what I lead with.
Yeah, that's not your intention when
It
you
is
do
not my
things.
intention.
Right.
The reason why I do it is because now I don't go out and do every cause that comes my way, or go and help every NGO that has probably said, can we please have you on
Right.
board. There are certain things that I believe that the future, the next generation and the many other generations to come should have, that I probably didn't see in my generation, and I see that should get better.
Right.
Is the fact that sport is such a important part of all our lives.
Correct.
And it puts the country on the map on a different level altogether.
Absolutely. And brings the country together,
Together, yes, that brings the world
World
together.
together, rather.
Although there's so much competition that happens with sport,
Right.
it's so healthy. It brings everyone together in the right kind of way, and the energy that you have around these sporting events is amazing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I feel like our country has a long way to go when it comes to that.
Right. Yeah, of course.
There are so many things that we need to learn as a country, that we in terms of structuring, in terms of a system. There's no system for our training. There's no system at all. Like if you see countries like China or Spain, why I say Spain is because China is a much bigger country. The athletes that come out,
Right.
they come out from academies, they come out from schools,
Right.
they have jobs as coaches after that. In weightlifting, India has done such a great job, but when it comes to what has happened to these athletes post these gold medals or whatever medals they won, you'll be sad, or you'll feel sad with the fact that their lives aren't what you think they should have been.
Right.
So I mean, this is not putting anyone on the spot or not trying to make a point or prove a point, but this is it's my opinion, and I feel like if I can add something to this, I love what Aditya is doing today. I love how he's training athletes and what he's doing with these athletes,
Right. Absolutely.
It's important to have someone at the forefront who is out there like a warrior, irrespective, come what may, you will charge.
Right.
And when you see someone like that backing a cause like this, you want to do whatever you
Right.
can do.
So you're
And
mindful about the NGOs you support?
absolutely.
Yeah, perfect.
Absolutely. So there are these, so sport is something, education is something. These are the very important things. There's another NGO called Life is a Ball
Okay.
that friends of mine have started in Chennai,
Okay.
in Tamil Nadu, and so the government schools, the corporation schools don't have co-curricular periods. So they make a co-curricular period for these kids.
Oh.
We send coaches to them, and they have matches, football. They teach the girls and boys football.
Okay.
Make them play, educate them, and we have like these events that happen for these kids, and they come to other football events. They take part as a group.
Right.
So it's very interesting to see these
And
kids.
physical exertion is very, very important in the growing up years.
Yes, especially those formative. And so in these schools where the kids come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, by the age, and it's a study that's been done as well,
Right.
by their tweens, when they're 9, 10, and all of that, they start getting into bad habits and vices. So by the time they're 40, by the time they're adolescents,
Right.
they're robbing, they are
Violent.
getting into vices. They're taking the wrong route. And sport is something that actually brings kids back on track.
Yeah. Channelizes the energies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Channelizes
absolutely.
their energies mainly, lets them focus, gives them value, makes them understand values such as teamwork and what it is,
Absolutely.
how to like strategize and all of these things
Yeah.
that
It teaches,
it's
so many aspects.
very wholesome.
Absolutely.
Right, and you don't even know that you're learning these things because you're doing it in a fun
Yeah,
way.
absolutely.
Right, you're
Yeah.
not being like taught,
Taught
and you're
as a
not,
curriculum or in a classroom.
yeah, you have to do this. No,
Yeah.
you're actually instilling in them how to do it themselves. So they're
Absolutely.
generating these thoughts themselves
Within themselves,
Yeah.
naturally, instinctively.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Regina, today we become more convenient driven than concern driven. What would you say to people to become more sustainable, and what is that they can let go of and become more concerned and let go of certain concerns in the day to day life?
I think being more concerned about things like fast fashion and consumerism is so important. What you're influenced by, I don't know if most of us pay attention to what we're influenced by.
How they're, tricking our mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we are influenced by everything on a daily basis, whether we know it or not.
Right.
Right?
It's happening to all of us.
Yeah. Everyone slips up once in a while also. And but to be more conscious about the fact that you're doing it, it's okay to do it, I guess, or to not do it. But knowing that, being aware of the fact that you're doing something is where it starts.
Yeah. Catching the thought.
Yeah, like for instance, now like I see like someone wearing this really good pair of shoes, and I want to get them. Now, this has nothing to do with if I can afford it or not. It has everything to do with being concern driven, right?
Yes.
Like
absolutely.
like I know I can get that if I want to get it, but what am I adding? Why do I want it? If I can tell myself that this is why I want it, and it actually makes sense to me. But I'm giving you very very random example. But like many things in life, um, I I love to take the minimalistic approach to things, but it's impossible with the kind of life I lead. Like
Yeah, in the
being
profession you're in.
just
Especially
mainly
for
my
that.
profession. And sometimes I find myself being in the middle of the two and having to like balance the two in my head, because I am a very conscious person. Even at home, I upcycle all my bottles. So all my drinking bottles are my alcohol bottles and wine bottles mainly like wine or gin or and that's how it's been.
Okay.
I don't mind,
Yeah.
and I love it. Uh, that makes me feel good.
Okay. Yeah.
It makes me feel so good that I know that my carbon footprint is not as much as it would have been if I actually had that.
There are some things you cannot avoid, but whatever you can,
I would love to.
minus your, life's professional hazard, if I may
Yes.
call that,
Yes, my professional hazard.
you would do it.
Yeah, so where I can do it, I will.
Yes.
I don't own a car.
Oh, yeah?
I don't.
Wow, I didn't know that. You're
Yeah,
not
I
even
don't.
Chennai?
Not in Chennai.
What is your mode of transport?
I mean, there's a cab that I have a cab service.
Okay.
I don't own one. I will own an electric car soon, but that's again,
Wonderful.
I'm waiting for a good electric car to
Car.
come to India.
Yeah, it's going to take few.
It'll take some time, and I don't mind wait. I have no qualms. Like I don't care.
You
Like,
managed till now.
I have, and I will continue managing till I get the
Wonderful.
best electric car that I want. It's been difficult having to mention this and say, "Oh, I don't have a car," and then people are like, "But you're an actress. You should have one." Like, I mean, come on,
Yeah.
really. I have witnessed these looks and expressions, and it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, for me, what I'm doing is most important. And people might say, "You really think you're making a difference?" And
It adds up.
again, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I know that doing this is leading to this and doing that is leading to that. There's very little plastic used at home. More and everything that I get, even these Swiggy dabbas that I get, everything is washed and we use it again and again for things, different things, to either give the maid something or
Correct.
use it here, use it there. But everything is used.
Wonderful.
Paper bags are all used. There's a whole upcycling system, that
Okay.
happens. All the plastic bottles, unfortunately, your shampoo and your conditioner and all of these are sent out to a particular waste management company.
Okay.
So these things are
Yeah, these are very,
there's
very
a system.
important. Yeah.
I want it to be that way.
Okay. So the younger generation, the youth, are the ones who consume a lot and they're also enticed by, marketing. And but at the same time, they hold great potential in them to change things. So how would you or what would you say to inspire them to make them understand that sustainability is the way of life now? It is not an ideology, philosophy anymore. What is the need of the hour? What would you say to them? Like, how do they use their potential to change their lives to become more sustainable driven?
It's amazing that our generation, who's in the middle of this entire change, it's like we are like thinking, why did the people before us, the previous generations, not think about these things?
Right.
And now we have to make the change and also
The
tell the coming generation that, guys, this is. But it's interesting because when you talk about the next generation that's there, all of them are so aware.
I see that too.
They're so aware.
They're more responsible and conscious than the previous or even our generation.
Yeah. But there's also an extreme.
Yeah, there is an extreme too.
There's a proper extreme. Like there's a divide between I will stand for this and I don't care, I will stand for that or whatever. But everyone knows what they're doing.
Right.
Which is what we also need. Like if you are aware of the fact that you're being detrimental to society, fine. Be aware of it.
Yeah, not mindlessly.
Not
doing it.
mindlessly, like, herd mentality, do it, just anything.
Yes.
Even with sustainability, don't mindlessly just be like, yeah, it's now a fad, so I'm going to do it.
That's also there.
Right? Because that happens a lot because now everyone's like, she's doing it, he's doing it, everyone's doing it. I'll also do it. And then
But that helps, huh? Whatever it is.
I mean, but that's the thing, right? It's mindless. So then you're not passing on the right information. What they actually have to take from it, they're not taking from it.
Right.
And that's what
No,
we
I
want.
understand.
That's when change happens, right? When you know what's going. And I believe that is what needs to be driven into people. Like the reason you're doing it, and it'll take some time to see it change because now everyone's talking about sustainability. I was also talking to my derm the other day, and we were talking about sunscreens and how a certain thing from palm trees have to be used in it. Now, if you're going to use palm trees, then the orangutans are going to suffer. So there's a so there is a line of things. It's not just like,
Yeah.
okay, we can just use this now.
Right.
This is the solution to the problem. Someone also said one solution to a problem happens to be another problem to something else.
Exactly.
You'll have to find a solution to that. So
Right.
it is a vicious cycle. It's difficult to strike a balance between
Yeah.
everything,
Mm.
which is why I think, you know,
Minimal.
minimalism is should be something that people should follow in
Right.
terms of even eating, in terms of, I mean,
You're right.
you know, whatever you put into your body, whatever you wear, whatever you do, your thoughts also shouldn't just run wild. You know,
Yeah.
there should be like a, you should know when to like
Right.
stop letting it run. So I mean,
Absolutely.
all of these things, yeah, but it's easy to talk about. It's easy to sit on a couch,
Right, and talk, but
and yeah, and
there's a lot
say
of
these
work.
things. But consistency is also key, and I see a change in myself with these thoughts that I have as well, as I'm growing
Monitoring
up.
your
As I'm
thoughts.
growing up, yes. You know, maybe like a year and a half ago, I was someone who would overthink. And everyone would be like, don't overthink. And I'd be like, yeah, even I know I shouldn't overthink, but what does one do to not overthink? Like, I mean, but the only thing to do is to just be mindful of the fact that your thoughts are running wild,
Correct.
and then stop it and be present.
Yeah.
And how do I be present? I just like feel the things around me.
Okay. That's your mechanism.
Yeah. Because I feel the things around me, I'm like, okay, fine. And then my thoughts go to now what's around me, and the thoughts towards that have stopped, and now I'm more present instead of just breathing and inhaling and exhaling. Because I feel like the more I close my eyes and breathe and inhale, I used to run wilder into wilder thoughts. And
So managing your thoughts is
yeah,
also
so
very
managing,
important.
stopping, and then just being present and looking around me, and then defining the things around me helped me.
Yeah. If you see today, anxiety, depression, confusion are buzzwords. Everyone is using it so loosely, and there are multiple mental illness terminology surfacing. Small things are bogging people down. So, three things that the youth should focus upon to sustain their mental health and balance and live a happy, harmonious life.
First one is don't beat yourself up about things.
Okay.
Second is, if you feel like things are going out of control, please just get help. Either from someone who you trust, who's a sounding board, or someone who is a professional.
Right.
Third, even physical fitness, it should be the right amount. You shouldn't think that
Overdoing anything.
Don't overdo it.
Yes, of course, there should be
And
balance.
please be physically fit, because if you're not physically fit, then you will lead into other issues, and then something like diabetes has also, we don't even notice it because we don't give our minds that much importance. Something like diabetes can also act on the fact that you have diabetes itself, and the whole thing that the body goes through, and then what you go through being a diabetic person, does take a toll on the mind,
Mental health.
on your mental health, without you knowing it.
I know.
We
Absolutely.
don't like, this is something that I've pretty much always believed in but couldn't put a word to it, was our minds, our brains rather, like the brain that we have is a muscle.
Right.
Right? And now if I want good arms, I'm going to work out and do my biceps and my triceps, and
Right.
but I'm not going to do 24 hours a day just because I want my biceps to
Yes.
show.
Yes.
But my mind is working 24 hours a day. I don't let it stop. And obviously, it's not going to work, right? Obviously, it's going to go off the grid, off totally. And the mind is a muscle that you shouldn't be using all the time. Because you don't use your other muscles all the time. It's not an involuntary muscle. It's not like your heart that keeps beating.
Right.
So don't use it all the time. It's okay to be calm and not have to think, and to let your thoughts just pause.
Right.
So I think,
Training your mind to calm itself
yeah.
is very
And
important.
and you don't have to do it. Don't think of something that you have to do, because the moment you think of something that you have to do, now it becomes a task.
Correct.
And none of us like doing tasks when we don't want to do it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, in the generation of social media, trolling is something that we see every day. and people are spitting venom. Literally, there's so much hate and judgment. Judgments passed. You must have faced a lot of them, criticism, comments. How do you deal with trolling, and what mechanism do you use to keep yourself composed?
This is the thing I've always used with everything in my life.
Okay. Okay, dust it off.
Yeah, because it doesn't even hit me. The trolls or the memes or something. But there have been so I'll tell you when it there was one meme troll that I saw. So it had something to do with a guy and my body, let's just say. And I didn't like the fact that that video was put up. Only because it just showed our society in very poor light. At least once a week or whatever, quite often there are these morphed pictures that a lot of these people put on, like on a naked body or whatever, like things like that, which I look at and I'm just it. My mind immediately goes to I wonder what kind of a person this person is. Like, what are their thoughts?
How
Why are they
sick.
doing it? Whether it's house sick or whatever. So I think the fact that I studied psychology, and the reason I studied psychology was to understand behavior, human behavior, the why behind the going ons of things, and why people do this. So it always has been a why. What kind of a person would do these things?
What kind of upbringing, what experience did
Yeah,
he
what
or
are these
she?
experiences that these people are having, and what do they want to share with the world? And sometimes it's just generic. It's just cheap thrills. But the fact that someone would go to this extent for cheap thrills, I mean, I get it. And being a woman, being an actress is still a stigma in our country.
Right.
Especially when it comes to getting married, oh, she's an actress. Oh, but she's an actress comes.
Yeah.
So these things, and these trolls don't help any of these
Yeah.
these societal
True.
issues that I as an actress or I as a woman face today. I feel like these trolls highlight patriarchy.
Yeah, they do.
They highlight
The conditioned mind of the
a
society.
sexist behavior.
Okay.
And they highlight a lot of these things which men in general don't face. You see a lot of women facing. I've seen so many of screenshots from my films taken if my mouth's open, and like the worst comment written underneath. And most of them leading to pornographic sort of images or statements or whatever it is. But rumors and trolls and memes have never really affected me. Having said all of this, there are some really funny trolls also that people do,
Yeah.
funny memes that people put out, and this is the problem with being in this industry. Um, there's this side to it, and there's also another side to it, which is publicity. So memes and trolls are also put out by PR people.
Oh, okay.
So there is this whole paradox to the whole thing. It's not black or white,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Definitely not black or white.
Okay.
There's a lot to this. So, and why is it put out by PR people? Because any news is news.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
now you're fighting a fight that you don't know who you're fighting with anymore. So for me, it is, I just would love to be here, do my thing,
Do your work.
just do it. I have my blinders on. Just do it and go. And I feel like that just works best for me, for my mental health especially.
So, Regina, we were talking about film industry, and recently I read that Chandigarh Ki Ashiki is supposed to be the zero waste film set, and I was so excited. So, I wanted to know, like you being in the film industry, what are the challenges that the industry is facing to become completely eco-friendly, or what are the practices that they can change to make the whole thing sustainable, or where they don't generate too much trash that goes to the landfills?
When I first came into the industry, and we were doing outdoor shoots, I'll see these annas drink the light annas drink quantity and throw, and I'd get so irritated.
And throughout the day, how many do they drink?
You can imagine, right? And I'm just like, why? Like, and I'm the kind of person that if I see something going on, I'll immediately go, especially environmental. If there's an environmental this thing, I have to go.
Or an animal?
Yeah, and I have incidents where I've gone and like I've hit people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's for animals. But when I see them throwing, and I will tell them also, why are you throwing? Pick it up and put it. There's a dustbin right there. Do it. And I won't say it nicely. I'll be pissed because something like this I cannot say nicely because. I mean, I probably need to work on that because I feel like people should understand these things. But then I think, okay, fine. You know what? They don't have the upbringing that certain people have had to understood. No one has taught them that this is how it should be, why you should throw it. You know, there's no, and there are two things. No one knows why they should do it, and two, are he's doing it, she's doing it. What'll I do? I used to have my friends back in college just to irritate me, throw stuff around.
Oh no.
It used to be so irritating. I was like, but this is not for me. This is because, you know, I don't care. Why don't you go throw it in your house?
I see the emotion even now.
Yeah, like throw it around in your house. Why is your house clean? You know, like I don't get it. My staff also back in the day. This is so interesting to about mindsets of people. I was shooting for Subramaniam for sale, and my hair and makeup artist and all of that. Again, same. You know, they if they're eating something, they'll just chewing gum. They'll just take the wrapper, throw.
Oh no.
And I'll in the middle of set, I'll be like, please take that and throw it. You know, we went to America, and we were in Jersey, and we had gone to Walmart, and we had just bought stuff like this thing, and we were coming back out, and there was this little candy that I'd given everyone, so these packets. All of them take the candy, put it in their mouth, and promptly the packet goes into the pocket, and I'm like, wow.
Why?
So when you're in the US, you'll do it, but when you're in India, you will just throw it, and I have to be like, please pick it up. What is this mindset? Like, do it at home. That's where it should start, right?
Exactly.
But it's funny to see that people are like that. Like, it's like, so what? I don't even understand. So are you going to do this in another country, or are you more scared in another country? It's someone else's place. Like, what is it? What is this thing that goes on?
And the same person, he's doing this, so might as well do that back home.
Right? So that was interesting. There was this once I saw when it comes to animals in Agra. We were shooting for a film, and it's just narrow lanes in Agra, like full on like fight running sort of a thing. And there was a dog walking just before they said, okay, ready, ready, ready. And one dog was walking and coming, one street dog. And one of the locals thought that he would probably help by chasing the dog away. If he said shoo or took one stone also, which I hate. I hate when they take a stone and throw. They'll act like they're throwing it to the dog, but they'll throw it to the side. I'm like, but still why? Okay, anyway. So he thought it'd be very good to go and kick the dog in the butt. Yeah.
Oh my.
So I'm standing here, the dog is going like this, the camera is there, dog is walking, he goes from here, goes there and kicks the dog, and I don't know what happened, but I went behind him and I hit him like that. I just hit him. I said, you did the same thing to the dog. You can't do that. I didn't know what happened after that because my entire team just took me and they took me to one of the locals' houses and they closed the house because they didn't want this guy to do anything because he went back making a big noise that a girl had hit him.
Oh, it's an ego issue.
And it became a big thing for about half an hour. I had to sit inside that house. No, they didn't allow me to get out till things calmed down.
Really?
And we had one more shot to do. I didn't care. I was like, I'm not bothered. Like, you cannot do that and think you'll get away with it.
Right. Kicking
I
the
don't
dog
care.
for no reason.
Right? So these things when
Brutal.
I see, yeah. So for me, when you ask about the environment, it is very important. Like I told you, right? I feel very protective about these things. So yeah.
So what changes can the film industry make?
Yeah. So coming to the changes, I've always thought that we need more dustbins on set. Let's start with that.
More dustbins.
Right?
And less single-use plastic, I'm sure.
For sure, but I don't think we can adhere to that because unless production houses pay more attention to it, I think it can only come from a production house making rules.
Right.
Because otherwise nothing else would single-use plastic is definitely not,
Yeah, I mean, the
definitely
production
not.
should be conscious to make it happen.
Yeah,
Only then it can
only
happen.
then can it happen. Like I, as an actor, probably can do it with my team, or with my life, or with certain things. But I feel like there's so many other people who can make a difference, who should make a difference,
Right.
who should come up with ideas of not having to, like Chandigarh se
Chandigarh ki
Yashik,
Ashik.
yeah. So like that. So I
Yeah.
feel like they should
If you
be
make
more
an effort,
concerned,
and I'm sure they should be
be more
able to.
conscious about the things that you're doing. But it's difficult. It's not
Yeah.
easy
No, I
because our sets
understand.
are so huge,
Correct.
but actually never heard of this
Yeah,
piece
so
of
they
information.
recycled everything, donated some, and upcycled some. So there was no wastage, is what it was written. I was very excited. If everybody brings those kind of little changes, I think 90% of the set material will not end up in landfills, is what they said.
I think that's amazing. But I should also tell you this, in the Chennai airport, not to digress, but it's so important that I say it. I put it up my stories also. It was so funny to see, and I was so hurt. The airport has wet waste and
And
dry waste and
food waste.
food waste, probably. So there were three compartments, right? And I look in. The three compartments lead into two compartments. So I'm just like, what's going on? Like, why are we having three segregations and there are only two segregations? I understand the wet waste and the food could probably be the same, but what is the this thing? It was three different sections.
But did you actually see wet in wet and food in food? Because people, even after reading the signage, they don't care to even put the wet in the wet, dry in the dry. When I opened up multiple times, it's all mixed up.
Yeah.
So a lot of awareness has to be brought, a sense of civic
I think
responsibility.
rules have to be made. If you don't do this, these are the
Yeah, stringent
consequences.
rules and
Till it becomes our lifestyle.
right. What is your definition of sustainability? How would you define it, or what is your take on it?
I think sustainability should be done to the extent that you can do it. Like I said, right, with my life, I try to do as much as I can, being aware of what you're doing, the
Right.
choices that you're making, and also being aware of what these choices can lead to. We're still in a lifestyle where when you have this whole sustainable lifestyle is not very is still on an expensive side when it comes to, for a country like India.
I don't think so. I would like to negate on that.
Okay.
We're not talking about sustainability in the sense that only buy organic products, but just minimizing and segregating where things have to go. Just
Yeah.
being a little more aware and taking out time to compost or segregate, send it for recycling, e-waste separately.
Yeah.
You know,
It's more time consuming, and for sure. And I feel like the thing is, we still don't know. I still don't trust the fact that even though I do segregation or whatever happens, it's going to land up in a place where it's actually being
supposed to.
segregated. We still have problems with the landfills. We still have, you know, um, I feel like the system itself is not. The system itself has to be fully
Bangalore has a
ensured.
great system because I've spoken to many. Every community has its own strong, segregation system, waste management, and they're doing wonderfully well. So I'm hoping this spreads across the country as soon as it.
Yeah, even Bombay also, they have a good waste management system. Like people come to the houses to collect it, and Chennai does not yet
It'll be there.
have
So I
one.
would only want to.
Is it like that in Hyderabad?
Hyderabad is getting better. We have a lot more companies who are collecting the waste and composting and making it into vermicompost and also sending it to farmers close by. So things are happening.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So I feel like do it in my small way, keeping waste segregation aside. There's someone who in Delhi they do this. They out of cigarette butts have some amount of plastic in them,
Right, of course.
right? And they make furniture out of it. They make
Wow,
fabrics out of it.
really?
Yeah. out of cigarette butts, and it's so interesting because those are things I would like to be a part of. You know, I would like to create more of an awareness of these things. I would like to like, and that's the kind of sustainable living that I think
See,
people
couple of
should.
mindsets are changing. Like now, after people watch what you're saying, there will be a shift of mindset. So if 1 lakh people like Regina are produced, don't you think there'll be a significant amount of change?
Absolutely. And I'm also aware of the fact that change takes time. It's not going to happen as soon as we would love for it
Love
to
for it to
happen.
happen.
I mean, it's there, but I think it's a constant work.
Work.
It's constant work.
And you should inspire as many as you can.
I would love to, absolutely love to. But yeah.
You answer a couple of these rapid choice rounds. So I'm not going to put you on the spot. It's just simple. Just want to know what you like.
Okay.
Mountains or beaches? Both? Okay, I'll give that to you. Grasslands or forests?
Forests,
Caves or valleys?
valleys,
Birds or animals?
both.
I knew that. You like a plant or a tree?
Tree,
Sun or the moon?
moon.
Roses or lilies?
Roses and lilies in their natural habitat, not in my hands, cut up in a bouquet.
Mwah, I love that. Fruits or veggies?
Both. I eat all my vegetables, all the fruits.
the
I don't
fruits.
have anything that I don't like.
Wow. Farming or gardening?
Farming,
Okay. Sunrises or sunsets?
sunsets,
Sunsets. River, ocean?
both.
Okay.
I mean, it has to be because I'm a water body.
You're a water body yourself. Rain or snow?
Ooh, rain.
Okay. Biking, trekking? Both? Okay. A camp or a cottage?
Cottage.
Summers or monsoons?
Monsoon.
Respite. House or a farmhouse?
Farmhouse.
City or a village?
Village.
Skydiving, scuba diving?
Scuba.
Water body. Salad or a smoothie?
Smoothie.
You did well. Thank you. So we come to the end of the show. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your infectious energy, and thank you for your wonderful, strong, individualistic opinions that you have about everything.
Thank you so much for having me over, Shilpa. I'm so
Thank
glad.
you. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Please do subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more updates. See you all next week. Signing off, Shilpa Reddy.